Hey everybody, Stephen Marcia here. I was at our first night in our trailer.
Fifth wheel toy hauler, technically. And so we joined Harvest Host, which is a way that you can make reservations at different places along our route, like wineries and farms and distilleries. And we decided to hit and stay at the Eagle Haven Winery, which is just a mere about an hour away from our house, which made it really nice for our shakedown cruise. We were able to just take a short drive down the road, down the highway, and have a nice night at Eagle Haven.
I gotta tell you, it was a nice night. Although I'm not a big wine drinker, they did have some good beers on tap that we tried out there. That was a good time. And just thinking had a good night's sleep, except for some yappy dogs, our own dogs, in the trailer. But I was just thinking back to the days of old where we would carry a 80-pound backpack for 5 or 10 miles and then set up tent and sleep on an eighth of an inch thick mattress. And now we're in the fifth wheel and we've got a 10-inch thick mattress and we sleep really well. Things have changed.
No mosquitoes.
Yeah, no mosquitoes to deal with. So I think this stop was one that, I don't know, it was a nice getaway, not too far, but just out there. Like the whole Harvest Host thing, the way it works is we basically pay for the annual membership on Harvest Host, and that gets us access to the sites. And then you book through the website. They're expecting you when you arrive. They know you by name and all that. And then you're expected to spend about $30 on something at whatever the establishment is that the Harvest Host site is at. So we spent that much on drinks and called it good.
Yep.
So
had a nice little chat with Chad, who I guess technically is their sommelier. Chad was, or just a fancy bartender.
yeah.
And interesting young guy looks like he's studying the Constitution to maybe become a lawyer, but who knows? He was an interesting person.
Yep.
Steve had the Mexican lager, and I tried a couple of their different wines. They had a very nice rosé that is, I believe we said it was a Syrah Sauvignon? Something like that. Definitely Syrah.
Don't look at me on that one.
Don't look at me.
When I hear wine terms, I think my brain just turns off because it's not my thing. So,
I also tried their Chardonnay, which is unoaked. It's somewhat dry, and I appreciated that wine. Chad also had us do a little shot of their, what was it, cognac barrel aged cider, and said it was 18 proof, and I really enjoyed that. It was basically an apple brandy, but it had this really nice depth of flavor, and I thought it would be nice over some ice. But we just had a little shot of it and thought that is not what we're looking for tonight, but could have that some other time.
Yeah, it was a really good taste. It was just too sweet for my taste.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as far as this being our shakedown trip, first night in the trailer ever since we purchased it, and we're just figuring out what works and what doesn't and what we need to do and what we need to pack, things like that. We had one incident that I was not expecting. On our way there, we stopped at a grocery store to pick up some supplies, and while Marcia was in the grocery store, I attempted to open one of the two doors we have in the trailer, and I put the key in and turned the lock, and a quarter of the way through the turn, it gets stuck. It will not go anywhere. And so jiggling a little bit, trying to get it loose, eventually the key broke, and this was in the deadbolt half of the lock on the trailer side. And I thought at that point, oh boy, we are stuck. We're going to have to go home. We ended up, because there's two side doors on the trailer with different locks on them, of course. We ended up going in through the
garage door.
Yeah.
We ended up going through the garage door, which is the back door, and had to shimmy open a window in the slide out because the gap between the slide out and the door wasn't big enough for either of us to get through. So we were able to open a window, and I got through the window, and luckily we were able to get the door open.
Yeah.
But
So
it was an unexpected start to our trip, for sure.
So when we get home, I guess I'm going to have to be taking that lock apart and figuring out what's going on there, or getting a replacement or something. And then other stuff, we just figured out a few things we were missing. What did we come up with on the list of things that would be nice to have?
Oh, we've got all of the dog fencing. Basically, we had to stake out the dogs on leashes to keep them close to the trailer. And that caused some angst with all of the dogs, that was for sure. What else did we...
So another item was USB cables. So I packed a couple of USB-C to USB-C cables because that's usually what I use for charging my phone and cameras and things. But it turns out that the trailer has a bunch of built-in USB ports, but they're not USB-C. We have some that we've added that are USB-C, but are not that many. So we'll need to bring different USB cables next time.
Okay. I think there was one other thing that we forgot. I have a list.
Oh, hose nozzle, a few things like that. Anyway.
Yeah. Puppy toys. I did not bring any puppy toys. So we did improvise, and we used a couple of water bottles. So that made for some really fun toys for a little while. And Steve's socks.
Yeah.
But that was about it.
All right, so this is episode 1 of our adventure log, and we'll keep updated as we go. I'll bring you down the road with new adventures, but right now we're headed home after a successful learning experience, and I think that wraps it up.
Yep, so not island bound, but inland bound. Really. All right, ciao.